So you want to talk about incompetency on steroids. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one incompetent Secret Service. And my friend Dan Bongino, he knows it. He knows it. Dan's got a great show, by the way, just a great show. And he's a great guy. And he's a friend of Drew's and mine. And, you know, I think very highly of Dan. But one of the reasons I want to play you what I'm going to show you is that Dan used to work in Secret Service. So he knows this. And immediately, Dan was all over this. Dan was like, what the heck? What the heck? Like, this was a really, really bad response team. But according to Dan, guess what? You didn't even have the A-team there. These were not the normal people that would normally be there guarding the president. Apparently, they were a bunch of temps from DHS. What the heck is going on? Let's cue this one up. Dan Bongino, ladies and gentlemen.
Say it was 200 yards. It was actually less than that where this shooter was, right? You're talking about a fraction of what they're trained at. They're also trained to spot guys in ghillie suits, cracked open windows.
Right.
He's on a white roof in broad daylight.
He's on a white roof.
Now, again, it'd be easy for me to say, oh, well, let's not get into Monday morning quarterbacking. Bro, it's not a freaking football game. It's the president of the United States' life. The Secret Service has one job. Well, outside of counterfeiting and protection, it is one job. You keep the body alive no matter what. They came within a millimeter of this guy losing his life. I don't understand some of the commentary that's, they did a great job. Well, the body guys, that response was, brave. They ran up there. They didn't know there could have been 10 more shooters.
Right.
No doubt. Know those guys. Pretty heroic what happened there. But the security failure in the perimeter is a complete, total debacle. No one should defend this.
So when you have guys, we just played the sound, when you have fans saying, hey, there's a guy with a gun over there to multiple law enforcement guys, and they still are just looking around like this and no one. How does that happen?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm getting from a number of sources that people are feeding to me their information, obviously, because they want to fix it. They're concerned, and I think you're going to see a lot of whistleblowers. I'm hearing there were very, very few. I don't want to give an exact number, but very few actual, I don't think anyone else has reported this, actual Secret Service poststanders at that site. That they were temp HSI,
right.
Homeland Security folks, they're great folks. I'm not knocking them, but that's not what they do specifically. We do protection, and we're trained for that. So I'm hearing that. I'm also hearing that the counter sniper team, that they had a problem seeing over the elevation. That's why I didn't engage right away.
Oh, come on.
But that's not the problem. The problem, well, it's the problem, but that's not the real. The problem is, where the hell was the aerial visual support? Why was there no helicopter? Why was there no drone? Why was there no FLIR? Why was there no thermal? Forward-looking infrared. How the hell is the crowd acting as the freaking counter surveillance operation?
I know, if that's the best.
I don't think that this was some kind of orchestrated attack. I know that some people, the conspiracy theories are going wild, but let me tell you, if it was orchestrated, they would have actually succeeded, all right? They just would have succeeded because they would have had some other person somewhere to be able to carry out the act, and the fall guy would have been the fall guy, et cetera, et cetera. But nonetheless, when you look at everything that happened, you got to ask yourself, what were they thinking there? In the Secret Service, you just saw the video, and you get the ladies, who like barely come up to his chest, trying to help cover him as he's being escorted off the stage. I'm still like, why were you escorting him off the stage? Why were you doing that? Because you don't know. Were there like 5 other shooters somewhere? How did you know that the location was secure? You hear some of the women screaming, what are we doing? What are we doing? You don't ask, what are you doing? You ought to know, because you know what? You need a plan in place. Well, they didn't have a plan. Dan Bongino said as much. Let's go back to our second clip. Clip number 10 of Dan.
Protect the minimum to the problem, right? Because you don't know how many problems there are. So if you try to rush to one problem, like the Malcolm X shooting, and there's another problem over there, you're going to wind up getting dead quick. So they did the right thing by rushing to the protectee. On the evac out, yeah, you do see a couple of agents who one couldn't reholster the weapon and things like this. So, there were some definite.
And the other one was like 5'4".
Yeah, you're going to find out in the coming weeks that the physical fitness standards for men and women are different. That's weird because the protectee's weight and height doesn't change for a man or a woman.
Does Cheatle get fired anytime soon?
She needs to go immediately. She has disgraced the Secret Service multiple times. She needs to go. She needs to be fired ASAP, but Mayorkas doesn't have the cojones to do it.
Biden should do it. Leapfrog Mayorkas and terminate her.
Zero chance.
She's got to go. Well, he never
He
fired
doesn't even
anybody
know who the
over
Secret
anything.
Service director is. There's zero chance. Like he fires her. No way.
Well, she needs to be fired. She absolutely needs to. I mean, he went on to say like he doesn't even know who she is, really. I mean, I get it, but we know who she is. And we're going to continue reporting on who she is and what is important to her. And what seems to be most important is not actually the job, not actually the gig, not actually securing the president of the United States or the ex-president of the United States or the future president of the United States. You know why? There's other things like DEI and ESG. For goodness sakes, it's like the investment world. Nobody actually cares about making money. Nobody actually cares, apparently, over at Secret Service about really and truly, and I shouldn't say this, I know this is cruel of me, but doing their job, because you got a person on top that's so proud of all this other stuff. Again, we're bringing in video. I'm going to show you momentarily some reaction from the floor at the RNC of just exactly what went down with JD being named at the top of the ticket. But first, as we bring that to you, check out this woman and her big aspirations for DEI over there at USSS, U.S. Secret Service Watch.
To expand hiring, they're aiming to have 30% women recruits by 2030, and even allowed YouTube influencer Michelle Carre to train with agents.
But I'm very conscious as I sit in this chair now of making sure that we need to attract diverse candidates and ensure that we are developing and giving opportunities to everybody in our workforce, and particularly women.
That workforce will be pivotal for the 2024 campaign season, which for the first time includes a former president who already has lifetime protection. Agents were there when Donald Trump was arraigned in New York.
We were able to work out the details ahead of time of how that particular day was going to go, but we will always ensure the safety of all of our protectees that we have.
The service has a zero-fail mission, a mission officers are training to uphold, pretending this field is the most famous address in America.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now, I think that she's probably out of a job. Just my wild speculation. But you know what? When you're more focused on making sure that you've got 30% women, et cetera, then, you know, you're going to have a few other problems.